So, one day I was bored and scrolling through YouTube, as one does, when a particular movie on the free section caught my eye. All Dogs Go to Heaven. I remember watching the film when I was little, but I have no memory of what it was actually about. It's marketed as a kids' movie and rated G, so what's the worst that can be in it? Well, let's just say it's a bit darker than I thought it would be. And by a bit, I mean a lot. So, let's talk about it. All Dogs Go to Heaven is an animated musical film created by Don Bluth, Gary Goldman, and Dan Kunster under Bluth's animation studio, Sullivan Bluth Studios. Before forming the studio, Bluth had notably been an animator at Disney, having worked on Robin Hood and The Rescuers, among other works. Don Bluth and Gary Goldman are also responsible for the creation of The Land Before Time, Anastasia, and Titan A, all of which are beautifully animated films that I watched as a kid. All Dogs Go to Heaven opened at the box office on November 17th, 1989. Unfortunately for this film, this was also the exact same day another little film was released. A little film known as Disney's The Little Mermaid. So yeah, let's just say it didn't do well in the box office. But not all was lost. All Dogs Go to Heaven was released on VHS on August 28th, 1990, and later on DVD on March 6, 2001. This home video release resulted in a boost to the film's popularity and is certainly the only reason I was able to watch it. Mostly because I wasn't even born when the film came out, but also because of accessibility. The film follows the journey of Charlie B. Barkin, a morally dubious German shepherd who attempts to cheat death with a magical stopwatch that he stole from heaven. And by morally dubious, I mean he steals, lies, and manipulates literal children. The film opens with Charlie and his sidekick, Itchy, trying to bust out of a dog pound by flooding it while they're being shot at. Yeah, what a friendly way to open the film. Also, his friend's name is Itchy because he itches all the time. Get it? So funny. After escaping, they return to the dog casino. Yes, a dog casino built in an old ship on the Louisiana Bayou. The fact that this movie takes place in Louisiana basically has no influence over the film, except for the Mardi Gras parade, which literally only takes up 2 minutes of screen time and background art. Without the parade and classic French Quarter architecture, there's literally no way you could tell it's Louisiana. As they enter the casino, there is a very long scene showing the dogs betting on rat races. It shows how betting works in the dog world, but I don't feel like this extended scene serves a purpose. Sure, the fact that there are races set up a small plot point later, but the establishment of such a competition did not require such a lengthy and detailed look. Anyway, everyone is surprised to see that Charlie is alive, so he explains his survival through song. Oh yeah, did I mention this was a musical? Because it's a musical.
Even a bit of cyan.
Oh, this didn't age well. After the first musical number, it is revealed that it was Carface, Charlie's business partner, that arranged for him to be caught and sent to the pound. Why did he do this? Greed, of course. He wanted more money. It's a simple but realistic motivation, for better or for worse. And naming the dog Carface? A little bit more than on the nose there, huh? Carface is accompanied by his henchman, Killer. Let me just say, I love the juxtaposition between the henchman's name, Killer, and the outward appearance of the dog. He wears glasses, is absolutely terrified of Carface, and doesn't appear to have any inherent strength. Yet here he is, the dog named Killer, with psychopathic tendencies. I think it's a great design choice. Continuing on, Charlie talks to Carface, completely unaware that Carface was the one who got him sent to the pound. Since the first attempt was unsuccessful, Carface and Killer plan another murder. Also, how is this movie rated G? It's a murder plot. How is this rated G? Then we transition to the Mardi Gras parade. As a gift, Carface gives Charlie a lucky watch. The watch itself has no significance to the movie, other than providing Charlie with a convenient way to swap out the watches. I mean, Carface never mentioned a lucky watch until now. It seems like a weird thing to give out when you are literally plotting his murder. Anyway, Carface and Killer take advantage of Charlie's drunkenness and lead him away to K-word him. To accomplish this, they blindfold him and run him over with a car off of a pier. Okay? I know kids' movies are no stranger to death, but this one is particularly brutal to me. I mean, sure, we watched Simba's dad get murdered by Scar a la Stampede, but this feels more like an execution than a dramatic death. But I guess Charlie's gotta get to heaven somehow, which he does because, as the angel explains,
all dogs go to heaven because, unlike people, dogs are naturally good and loyal and kind.
He literally cannot go to hell for anything he's done, which still stands despite the fact that she looks over his life and literally states he hasn't done anything good. Just as an aside, I have to say, there's a certain nostalgia in seeing old animated depictions of heaven. The lovely sunset-colored clouds, the shining gold gates, and the angelic choir. It's all just so beautifully made. And in comes our next musical number. The angel leads Charlie on a tour of heaven while Charlie complains about being dead. The angel shows Charlie the watch that represents his life, having stopped since he's dead. Charlie, being Charlie, snatches the life watch and rewinds it, bringing him back to life. Heaven's security must be pretty lax if he's able to do this. I mean, surely a lot of others must have tried this. Why did it look exactly like the one he already had? It's really just an easy out for the writers to explain how he's able to get it without them noticing. Charlie's supposed to be a sly thief. What better way to show his skill than him sneaking out the watch without having a convenient dupe already there? Continuing on, by bringing himself back to life, Charlie becomes banned from ever returning to heaven. Not that he seems to mind, really. He wants revenge. Also, the watch is now a walkie-talkie for this one part. As part of the revenge plan, Charlie and Itchy look for the monster that Carface keeps to use against him. It turns out the monster's actually a child, which could still be a monster depending on your view of kids. But yeah, child imprisonment. Also child labor, because she can talk to animals. Carface uses her ability to convince rats not to run in the race to fix the bets. Charlie and Itchy rescue the girl, named Anne-Marie, in the hope that they can make a profit by using her to fix horse races. Anne-Marie initially refuses, but changes her mind when Charlie says the money will go to the poor and he will help her find a family. The horse can somehow understand that Itchy calls it stupid, but they can't understand the horse's back. Also, how is a dog supposed to bet? He's a dog. What person will let a dog place a bet? Oh, I guess that answers my question. That works somehow. Also, ma'am? Excuse me? You're dumpy? Are you okay? After winning the horse race, the dogs continue their fixing spree and quickly become rich. Anne-Marie gets some new dresses and the dogs are able to make an entire casino. Buying the new dresses seems to be the only thing that Charlie really does for Anne-Marie. He doesn't get her family and he hasn't helped anyone out. There isn't really anything showing that he's changed, even a little bit. From the moment he saved her, he would do little things to keep her happy. So buying her the dresses isn't necessarily because he's changed, but likely because it's necessary to keep Anne-Marie happy enough to stick around. He even says it himself.
Pretend to be her best friend, but it's baloney.
There should have been some indicators that he actually began to care for her, such as not making disgusted faces at her kisses or something. But that never happens. We only really begin to see him care for her when she's sick, which is around 30 minutes before the end of the film. Also, they buy her all of these dresses, and she still goes around in her rags. The dresses are never to be seen again. At this point in the movie, we're already halfway through, but it doesn't really feel like the movie has made any progress since the beginning. Charlie is still the same dog he was at the start. He still only cares about money and does whatever he can to get it. Heaven hasn't done anything to try to get him back, and the threat of going to hell means nothing to him. Carface doesn't even know Charlie's alive, so there's no reason for him to be scared. Charlie doesn't really feel remorse for taking advantage of Anne-Marie either. The only progress Charlie has made is that he now owns his own place and has a kid that can talk to animals. The movie has done a lot of setup, but has yet to do anything with it. For an hour and 25-minute movie, this doesn't seem like the best use of time. Moving on, it turns out Carface actually found out Charlie is alive and begins plotting to kill him again. Essentially, back to the beginning of the film. Except Charlie has the unhappy child instead of Carface. To appease a continually unhappy Anne-Marie, Charlie attempts to make good on his promise to her and brings food to dogs in need. And, let me just say, those are some intense bedroom eyes from animated dogs. And cue musical number 3, The Sharing Song, which Charlie sings. How ironic. After the song, Anne-Marie finally realizes that Charlie has been stealing money from people. I'm not really sure how the wallet even got there. Not like he carries it around, right? It's awfully convenient. I mean, the couple in the wallet are all the way from when they began to fix races. Why is it still with him? It would have been so much easier to have her find out while he was actually stealing or immediately after. Who keeps the stolen wallet that long? Regardless, what this revelation is song number 4, Anne-Marie's expression of her desire for a family. Meanwhile, Charlie has a nightmare about going to hell, finally teasing the consequence of his actions and giving him some motivation to change. Except he decides to manipulate Anne-Marie into staying with him so he can keep making more money. As they leave, Carface tries to kill Charlie yet again, but this time he uses, a laser gun? No, not an ordinary gun. A laser gun. Why? How? Who knows? In their escape, Charlie loses the watch that represents his life, and the two are kidnapped by rats and taken to a sewer crocodile. Or an alligator, I'm not really sure which. And thus begins musical number 5. Charlie's voice is somehow so beautiful that it makes the crocodile want him. For music, that is. Unfortunately, their little adventure in the sewer makes Anne-Marie sick and she develops pneumonia. And I can say, from personal experience, that pneumonia sucks. While their misadventures occurred, Carface blows up Charlie's casino and beats up Itchy. Itchy's finally at his breaking point and he wants to leave town with Charlie, but not Anne-Marie. They argue, and during this argument, Charlie loudly declares that he doesn't care about Anne-Marie and that he's been lying to her for his own gain. Anne-Marie overhears this and is heartbroken. She runs off and is recaptured by Carface, kind of immediately. It is only at this point that we understand that Charlie genuinely cares about Anne-Marie as he goes to rescue her. However, he ends up falling into Carface's trap and is about to be killed. Charlie's melodic howl of pain catches the ear of the crocodile, who saves him from dying again. Chaos ensues, causing an oil fire and endangering Anne-Marie. Charlie rescues her, at the cost of his watch, and pushes her to safety just before he dies. Carface, meanwhile, is eaten by the crocodile. In the aftermath, Charlie's spirit visits Anne-Marie and apologizes to her. Just as he is about to be taken by hell, Heaven interrupts and allows him to enter heaven, having forgiven him for giving up his life for Anne-Marie. Charlie gives Anne-Marie one last goodbye and ascends to heaven. In the credits, we see Carface trying to escape heaven. Remember, all dogs go to heaven, even if they're murderers. Overall, the film is cute and entertaining. It's beautifully animated and the character design is great. Just look how unique nearly every single dog looks, even the background characters. The voice acting is phenomenal, especially Anne-Marie, whose voice is just absolutely adorable and extremely well done. That said, there are still a lot of areas the film could have improved upon. Let's start with the music. The songs are not memorable at all and feel more like a way to fill time than to add to or explain the movie. Let's compare the music of this film to Anastasia, another one of Don Bluth's films. Once Upon a December is not only a gorgeous and incredibly memorable song, but it shows that Anastasia still has memories of her childhood, hinting that she is actually the long-lost princess that they've been searching for. In All Dogs Go to Heaven, the songs are about how Charlie wasn't dead, how Anne-Marie wants a family, and a random song about singing. These points were already established in the movie without the use of song, so using a song is duplicative and unnecessary. The Heaven song does serve a purpose in explaining how heaven works, but it's not really amazing. While musical numbers have long been a staple of animated films, I find that it would have been better to not include them in this film at all. Aside from the Heaven song, if you took all the musical numbers out of the film, nothing would be different. That's how much filler it is. Then there's the overall story. I touched on this earlier, but the plot is incredibly slow, and halfway through the film we find ourselves basically at the same place at the start. What is supposed to be the main conflict of the film? The overarching story. Charlie isn't worried about going to hell until the near end. He isn't really concerned about Carface either. He still just wants to make money. There's nothing to indicate that he's becoming a better dog or doing anything to change his fate. The last 30 minutes of the film is where everything happens. Charlie starts caring about dying and going to hell. He starts caring about Anne-Marie. He only now starts wanting to be better. I mean, at the end he does change and learns to care about someone other than himself, but there isn't really a good build-up of this development. It all just starts to happen at once. I guess the moral of the story is still somewhat there at the very least. Overall, the film is cute and it's great to see a 2D animated movie with unique character design. The music and story aren't the strongest, and it's a little dark for a kids' movie, but it's still fun. I know I was pretty critical in discussing this film, but I still like it at the same time. And anyway, these are just my thoughts on the film. I'm not a critic. I'm just an anime girl on the internet. So, what did you think about the movie? What movie should I talk about next? Leave your ideas in the comments below and hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. As an aside, I just wanted to say thank you so much for watching this video. This is the first time I've ever made something like this, so I hope I did a decent job for you all. I also stream on Twitch, so if you'd like to catch me live, you can find me at twitch.tv/LuneoVT. Bye bye!